Project success, the plan. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the planning portion of the integrated production control system that gets the foreman and the workers what they need from a plan and an expectation standpoint. So if you want to know how to actually get the plan all the way to the crew, you've come to the right place. If you want to know how to set up the company so that the trades can follow that plan, then you've come to the right place. And lastly, if you want to know how to manage your risks, then you're going to freaking love this video. So stay with us. All right, so I'm stoked about this video. This is going to pull together a lot of the concepts that we've been talking about on this channel. And I do want to remind you that in the videos that we're doing, when it comes to the integrated production control system, the first one is the team. And what that means is that when you have a team that is balanced and has the capacity to support the crew in the field and people with individual capability and capacity to support them, then you're able to provide a support network for the foreman and the workers when they're installing their work packages. So you've seen this before, and that's already covered in another video, which can be easily searched on this channel. But the other one is the plan. So as a part of that foreman and the workers installing their work package, they not only need support and a support team, right, but they also need to know, hey, what is the plan, and integrate with that plan. So I'm going to talk to you about that right now. I'm pretty stoked. So from an overall standpoint, this is how you make a plan with your trade partners. And I just love this. So when you are in the planning process, you create a macro level Takt plan. Now, I've already covered this. I probably don't need to do it again. CPM schedules, Gantt charts, typical scheduling, that is all anti-production and not what we need to be doing. What we want is called a macro level Takt plan. And what this does is it keeps it on a 5-day Takt time so that the project team can see the overall strategy. And what you'll see is your start and your end date, and you'll see the structure of the plan so that you can review it with the team and really make sure that we have a good, really solid approach to the project. Now, what we'll do is we'll take one of these phases as we approach it, and we'll pull plan it. And so the first step that we do is we have this really cool calculator that puts it through a formula called Takt wagons plus Takt zones minus 1 multiplied by the Takt time equals the duration of that specific phase. And when you use this calculator, you can actually plug in, well, what happens in that phase if I have 2 zones, 3 zones, 4 zones, 5 zones, 6 zones, 7 zones, whatever, and it provides the data. And you can come in here and say, all right, I want to do 6 zones because that shortens my overall phase time, but it takes care of our trade partners, okay? Then what you'll do is you'll get the representative zone size, whatever it looks like, and you'll ask with your trade partners to go ahead and pull plan that sequence inside of that zone to that milestone, but only to that zone size. So you'll have a collaborative pull plan here from the macro level Takt plan, okay? And what that does, your pull plan, I'll just go ahead and write that so you know where we are, that was based from the zone, okay, and having the right number of zones, we're able to then create what's called a norm level Takt phase. And what this is this is a phase of trades working in the diagonal, but they have the right amount of buffers at the end to the milestone. So this is genius. So now we have a really good solid plan. All right. Now, once you have this norm, and I'm just going to write down norm level schedule, here's what happens. Inside your norm level schedule, you already have the pull plan. You have trade collaboration, so you can look out ahead a week and 6 weeks and do what's called look ahead planning and weekly work planning, okay? So I'm going to do WWP for weekly work planning, and I'm going to do look ahead, LAP for look ahead planning. The purpose of that, as we've already talked about, is to make sure that we're identifying and removing roadblocks and making work ready. So this is pretty genius. Once that happens, and I'll mark this in blue, you will actually on a day-by-day basis filter out just one day, and then you'll go ahead and make a plan for that day that you can communicate over to the workers. And that's where the rubber meets the road, meaning you've gone from your overall project strategy to being able to identify the right number of zones, pull planning with your trade partners, which gets the sequence, creating a norm level production plan, sorry. And then being able to look out 6 weeks ahead and a week ahead, and then creating a day plan with your foreman collaboratively on a daily basis. And that gets visually communicated to the workers in the field so that they can install their work package. So this is pretty genius. This is the overall system, and not doing the weekly work plan, day plan, visually communicating it to the workers would be like swimming across a mile-wide channel and drowning 5 feet from shore. So we've got to get it done. Speaking of get it done, can I ask you to like this video? This is pretty jamming. Once you like it, it spreads to other people. A lot more people need to know about this because this is cool and it supports you. So I'm going to talk now about 2 other things that you can do to make sure that they're able to follow, okay, stay with me, that trade partners are able to follow the overall plan, do the pull planning with the general contractor, actually follow the production plan on attack time, and be involved in the look ahead and weekly work planning and the day planning for their crew to be represented in a collaborative way. There's a second step, and it's specifically about lean in contracts. And so what I mean by this is that if you have, by the way, this is a cool video. Like if you have the foreman and you have the workers, right? And they have the plan that they get to follow, right? In an environment, on attack time, in the right zoning, everything packaged so that they can do their work. Then we need, so this is from the job site. Oh my gosh, this is so good. So from the job site, you have what you need here, but they need support from their company. Okay, that means that the foreman and the workers can be like, yeah, we're going to install in work packages on attack time in the right zone size, but their company could be like, no, install the whole building, bring all the, not on board. And so what we have to do is make sure that any of the lean behaviors is in the contract. And so this can be in the master subcontract agreement, it can be in the contract itself, it can be in the inclusions, it can be as an exhibit in the basis of schedule, wherever it is. We've got to ask for certain things, and we'll link you to the list of things that we would recommend you include in the description below. But we've got to ask for things like, hey, the foremen are going to participate in the afternoon foreman huddles. They're going to participate in the worker huddles. We're going to work by zone. We're going to be doing pull plans. We are going to be working in the Takt production system. We need to keep our areas clean, safe, and organized. We're going to be implementing zero tolerance for safety and cleanliness. We need foremen and lead persons broken out by functional area. There's a list of things that must happen to enable the trades, because if they're doing their work in the work package, they might have everything they need and the buy-in to follow the job site system, but their company may not be on board. And so that's why we have to lock them into the behaviors with the lean items in the contract. And be careful. Anybody that says you don't need to buy lean has never implemented it. Like, it's a real thing. So that's the second thing. Once you have the plan for the team, make sure the company is obligated to follow the plan. And the last part of this whole planning process, again, to get the foreman and the workers what they need inside of their work package, if you have a plan and their companies are locked into following that plan and aligning with the job site, then whether your schedule is in the macro, like I was talking about, or it's in the norm and it's optimized with buffers, or you're just literally filtering out the 6-week look ahead or the weekly work plan, we have got to be constantly looking for a couple of things. Number one, anchors. So the anchors are what kinds of things happen to the projects, whether they're risks or overruns from past similar projects, and you're going to partner with the trades on that as well. The other thing is risks that might be unique to your project. I'll just write risks here. You're always going to be looking for and attempting to remove or plan around and eliminate these risks. The other thing is constraints. So constraints are things that aren't going to like really hold up your job, but things that you have to move around. They're permanent or semi-permanent. So you're going to have to always be looking out for that. And then the other one, the big one, is roadblocks. So as a part of your schedule and the plan, are there things that are out ahead that are going to affect the work? The trade partners with you are always looking for these 4 things so that they can do their work in a nice systematic flow. So like I said, we don't typically do summaries on these videos, but in summary, you've got to have a great plan that gets to the trades. You've got to have the company obligated to allow their people to integrate and collaborate and follow that plan. And then you've always got to be mitigating risks throughout so that your plan can flow as seamlessly as possible. And I love this topic so much, we're going to format a beautiful Canva graphic for you as a part of the overall integrated production control system. I hope you love it and can really grasp how this all ties together. On we go.